got too overwhelming, so I started running. It stopped being fun and making myself numb isn't helping. I got to learn to deal with the way I feel. If this is reality, don't know what I expected. Just for a moment I can't put this down. Things are getting crazy, lately I'm in hazy. Oh, and I've been praying someone will come and save me. The birds are flying south, I'm frozen in my doubt. Got nowhere to go from here, so I'll stick around. Just for a moment I can't put this down. Baby, just for a moment, drown these voices out. Slow burn, mind is a world away, and I'm not gonna come back for anyone else. And I don't wanna come down and be by myself. Slow burn, stay here and watch the flame. Now I'm focusing on all my breathing, floating on this feeling, burning sage. That was clever, now I'm feeling better. Even though I know that this feeling won't last forever. I tapped into a space, I found my escape that I can come back to anytime I want. Just for a moment I can't put this down. Just for a moment, drown these voices out. Yeah, slow burn, mind is a world away, and I'm not gonna come back for anyone else. And I don't wanna come down and be by myself. Slow burn, stay here and watch the flame. Now I'm focusing on all my breathing, floating on this feeling, burning sage.
So we are on Wednesday, and you'll have seen a few like B-roll clips, because as you can tell by my voice, I've not been feeling the best. I haven't been talking. This is probably, other than last night, the first time I've remotely sounded kind of normal. I feel better within myself, but the voice is still doing what the voice, well, not doing what the voice should be doing, is it really? I have still been reading, and I wanted to just give you an update on what I've been reading. I don't have the volume to hand, but I did recently get The Demon Prince of Momoche House. I really enjoyed that volume. It was adorable, it was just, it gave me all the warm and fuzzies, it was amazing. And yeah, it was a great start to a series. So I'm so excited that I have another 7 volumes of that I bought second hand off someone on a Discord group that I am in. The manga is called The Dudettes, I think. But yeah, I've also I've got so many things on the go. So I still haven't finished Exile, but this is because I don't know if I told you last week or if I posted on Twitter, I got to a certain point and I was a little bit broken. So now I'm scared to continue. I want to, but it's the fear of more hurt. So I do need to continue this week. I need to finish this so I can get my review up. I was really hoping that this week I could have actually sat down and done some full video reviews of some books that I'm due to review. I do want to do more just short, snippet, spoiler-free reviews on books that I finished, especially indie books, because I'm enjoying this so much. I was hoping that this was going to be one of them. I also want to do Blood Rain and Renia. They're all on my list to do, but then this happened in The Voice, and there's no way that I'm going to film 3-4 videos for reviews when I'm sounding like this, because I'm getting pissed off with this. So I can't imagine how nice it would be to listen to. I can't imagine it's going to be very nice. But yeah, I need to finish this. I have also started Searching for Zen by Albert T. Franklin. I'll put that up here. This is a book that we're doing for Indie Booktours. This was an Indie Booktours book for last week. Searching for Z is this week. And I'm only a couple of chapters into this. We're following a young boy, and it's sort of like the chosen one trope. That's the vibes I'm getting. But I think there's also going to be some that kind of found family and like finding yourself kind of realizations and findings in here. That's based on the synopsis anyway. So far I'm enjoying it. Keep going with that. I've got to do that review Friday, so I will finish that tonight or tomorrow. But I am also reading the Hero Interviews by Andy Ewington. So this is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a collection of interviews, but I didn't know going into this how it would work. So I've read things like Empire of the Vampire, where it's somebody chronicling or being interviewed by somebody else, and they are telling the details of like what's happened in their past. So I've read that kind of narrative. I had no idea what to expect going into this, because I did a flip through obviously once I'd received it, because this was kindly gifted by the author. I'd read the blurb and I had a quick flick through, and it literally was just like interviews with various, it says heroes, but it's NPCs in, like, if you've ever played an RPG or MMORPG, you'll know that like there's like different classes you can get, different races, and you've got NPCs like the bartender, the local city guards, those kinds of things. He interviews these characters as well, but we started, the first interview was with the Dungeon Master. When Andy said it was like, you know, you're linked with D&D, and it was kind of like had influenced by D&D. I didn't expect the amount of D&D influence it has. I am going to say I'm really new to this, but with D&D, so I only know the basics and little bits about like the stereotypical personalities and traits of each class. But I started reading this, and oh my god, I was in fits of giggles reading the Paladin interview and the Necromancer and the Sorceress, to be honest. There's quite a few, and the Ranger. There was quite a few interviews where I've literally just been chuckling so much. But the thing is, it's not just interviews. There's things that are discussed within the interviews that link to like previous discussions, and obviously because part of the interview they'll tell like a little anecdote, a little tale from a previous quest they've been on. Like some of those people were kind of linked, but it is the way that this has been put together. It's just so well done. In my head, I can just see what the Lore Master looks like. I can envision in my head what each of these characters looks like and how they act. And for me, this has also given me a better understanding of the different types of like it is stereotypical like traits and personality types of each of these classes, because it is an interview with that person, so you get a vibe of how they talk and how they act and their mannerisms and what other classes think of them as a sorceress or as a rogue, like what a necromancer thinks of a rogue or what a paladin thinks of somebody. And it really is so well done. Smash is massively into D&D, so immediately she came to the forefront of my brain when I was reading this, and I was like, Smash would totally get this. Like, Smash would love this. The thing is, to get the through narrative, you'd obviously have to read it front to back. But if you just wanted to read an interview with a rogue, you could just flip to the interview with that rogue. If you just wanted a feel of it, do you know what I mean? Like, but if you do want to follow the thread through as well, you can read it from start to finish. And this is the perfect kind of book where you can just pick it up and read bits at a time. For me, and I'm reading this with Lindsay Jardine. We both like went off track with Buddy Reads for a while, but we're back on track with this. We are both reading 100 pages a day or thereabouts. But if you just wanted to go in and read 1 or 2 interviews, it's not like you're going to lose the plot track of the story. I think this will be an easy kind of book that, although it looks chunky, you can just pick it up and read a couple of interviews, have a bit of a giggle, and then put it down again. It's something you can read in bits and pieces, and you won't. If you put it down for a week, you're not going to lose track of like what characters what and where they are and that kind of thing, because it's not like a standardly formatted novel, if that makes any sense. But at the moment, this is literally, I'm only 200 pages in out of nearly 700, and this is already giving me the 5-star vibes. When you get that feeling, you genuinely get that feeling, and I have that feeling. And what a feeling. I shouldn't really try to sing with this voice, but there we go. One thing that I have also been reading was Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. Unfortunately, I got to chapter 22, which is like just around halfway. This, unexpectedly, it's not something I talk about, and not something I'm gonna openly say. I can take this book out and put mine out now, and not something that I'm openly gonna say on here because spoilers. But if you've read it, then you'll probably know what I mean. But this is a series that Tori really loves, but I got to a certain point and it was a trigger for me, and I didn't realise how hard hitting it was until I'd read it. And it's not something that, the thing is with content warnings and things like that, if I know about it going in, I can prepare myself. But even if something like this has been sprung on me before in books, it doesn't always hit the same. Sometimes I could just go past it and it's fine. It still sort of like stings initially, and I kind of feel like, oh, we're expecting that, and then I can carry on. But for some reason, it just hit me so hard, and I was just really sad, and I had to put it down yesterday. I went to pick them up today and continued it for a couple of chapters, but I just felt really sad every time this thing was mentioned. With regards to the plot, it makes sense that it's mentioned more than once, because if it wasn't, you'd be like, nah, like that doesn't come up in a book, and then it's not something you just breeze over. So it makes sense that it's something that's discussed more. But yeah, I just couldn't continue with that. So, and it was making me really sad. I've had a chat with the friendos in the group chat, and I know that DNFing is not a bad thing. I know that triggers for a reason, but I was just like, I felt really bad because it doesn't always hit me hard or as bad as it did, but unfortunately, in this case, it did. So this is a DNF, therefore the series is a DNF, and the rest, and I'm going to unhaul all 3 of the books. I'll probably get them put on Vinted or something. So to make myself feel happy whilst I'm on my lunch, I have decided to reread Ledgers and Lattes, because this is only 3 hours on the speed that I listen to it on, and this gives me the warm and fuzzies, happy vibes. This is my safe space, this is my happy place, and I want to be back with Viv, Tangy and Thimble and Cal, and I just want to feel good. So that's what I'm doing. And then later on today, I'm going to go into Searching for Zen and finish that, and get my review prepped to go up and go out on Friday. We do have sprints with Gem tonight, so I'll be doing them later, so we're going to be very productive in those. But yeah, this is only my second DNF of the year. For that, I'm proud of me. But yeah, I will say that triggers aside, I really hated Matthew in the first book. I agree with what everyone else says. The Matthew in this one, the way that he acts is more understandable with how he acts, and he's a lot better in this one than he is in the first one. When he gets very protective, this reads more like the protectiveness of a partner, or you've got that vampiric kind of possession type of thing, but it's not, it doesn't feel toxic. It feels typical of a vampire, if that makes sense. So I will say, character arc wise, Matthew in this, yes, loved it, loved the development. It's just a shame about the trigger. I'm gonna go because my voice is going, my battery's going, and I need to eat before I go to work.
You dear, sweet delectable you, here you got me tingling like we're on a Ferris wheel ride. You, ooh, sweet delectable you, who came sweeping in just like you knew we were meant to unite. Is this really happening, or am I swirling through a dream? I can't believe it's happening, 'cause it's so good, it's surreal. When first, sweet delectable you burst into my life, I hit reverse, backing straight out the door. Disarmed, sweet delectable you charmed your way around my fear and alarm, so I gave it a whirl. Is this really happening, or am I swirling through a dream? I can't believe it's happening, 'cause it's
Hello
so
friends,
good.
welcome to Sunday. As you can hear, I'm still not 100%. I just wanted to wrap up what I've read this week, and what I finished, and what I'm going to be trying to finish the rest of today. So, one of the books I finished this week was, I'll move over this with it, Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Scifier. This was a book that I needed to read for one of my prompts for Tomes and Treasures, and I think it was the one that was like roll a d20 and picked from a list, I think, and that was the one I picked for that. I listened to this because the only books that I had at my parents' house were like a Kindle read and a physical read, and my mum was out doing the garden, but it was a bit too cold to sit out and reading, so I literally just sat in the house yesterday and read this. So there was that. I've already told you that I had the DNF Shadow of Night. I did do a reread of Lunches and Lattes. As always, 5 stars. Just, I want all the special editions of that book. That's probably one of the books that I would do a Becca with Ada. The way that she's got them in different languages and all that, like different covers, I would do that with Legends and Lattes, because it's that book for me. And then I also finished Exile finally. It got a solid 4.5 stars. I don't know what it was that, for me, I would have liked it to be a little bit longer in a way, but it was a great start to a series. I know that Guardian is already out, and the 3rd book in the series is due out end of May, I think it's just a trilogy, but the speed at which I'm going to get all those books when I can Books 2 and 3 are just going to get in the basket as soon as I get paid. And as soon as I'm able to get the physical of book 3, I'm on it. Because that book, I'll do a full review. As I mentioned before, I'm going to try and do spoiler-free reviews of the books that I've been reading. I'm going to try and do more content like that. And the first books I'm going to be reviewing will be Exile, Blood Rain and Rainier. Those are the 3 that I have on my list already and set aside waiting. You'll see that a lot of what I've been doing this week as well has been catching up on my watch later. So there was Claire reads books, Zebra reads, there was Andy, Mel from Eleanor reads, Cassidy from Good News Cassidy, Nerdy Narrative, and I don't know who else was in there, but I had quite a bit to catch up on my watch later. And because I didn't have any voice back in the last week, I didn't have any meetings at work because there's no point in chairing meetings when I can't speak. So I did a lot of more admin type stuff at work and just ploughed through so many watch later. And you'll probably see that I do speed them up a bit, so it looks like they were talking really fast. It's because I have everyone on like 1.5 or 2 speed, unless they are a really, really fast speaker anyway. And then I'll slow them down, but yeah. One of the books that I did get partway through is Bloodstones by Tori Tekken. This, I'm on page 191. I'm slowly reading this because there's a lot to take in. And at the moment I think my brain needs to just sit and, even though this is an audiobook and a physical read for me, I can't just audiobook it, but I'm enjoying the immersion read for this one. But also there's quite a few pieces to the puzzle, and it is quite, there is a lot of plot in this, but it is also about the characters as well. And I'm really enjoying just taking my time with this book. I do think at the moment it's going to be 4.5 stars for me. The world that Tori's setting up, the way that Tori writes is my kind of writing style. It gives you, she gives you enough description about the world and the characters without over explaining things, and she writes in a captivating way that makes you like really intrigued to continue turning the page, which that's all we want from life in an author, innit? So I'm really enjoying this, and once again, stunning cover for what I'm finding out is a stunning book. So that is all very fun. And finally, I'm really gutted that I was doing so well with my pages on this, but I haven't finished the hero interviews yet. I stalled the back end of last week, and I've still got just over half of this book left to read, along with the audiobook of this. These will both get read before the end of May. I was struggling Thursday, Friday. On Thursday, me and Chels had a really long like admin session and prepping session for indie book tours, for the tours coming up in the next month in May. So that took quite a bit of time, like whilst we were on the call and after. So I didn't really get time to read it all, and obviously this is just a physical read. And then Friday I was just absolutely knackered, so all I was doing was just watching anime. So don't hate me, I am still really, really loving this. This for me is going to be at 5 stars, unless he seriously fucks up near the back end of the book, which I doubt, because Lindsay's messaged me, and spoiler, she's obsessed. So there's that. I think that is it for this week, reading wise. I haven't started anything else, I don't think. Oh, no. I read Searching for Zen, sorry. It was on a Kindle. It was on my Kindle. I read Searching for Zen, and that was for Booktours. That was a very, very, very quick read. It is one of the shorter reads that I've had to read this month. I think it came in at like 200 and something pages. And I read faster on my Kindle anyway. But I sped through that Wednesday evening and like Thursday on my lunch and before work. It was just super speedy. But that is all from me. Hopefully next week you'll not get croaky me. You'll get the me that can speak normally. Fingers crossed. But if you do like me and you want to see more of me, please like, comment, subscribe to all the good stuff. If you're here and you want to let me know you're here, please leave a black heart, very much appreciated. And until next time, enjoy what you're reading up to or doing. And I'll see you all very soon.